I read a book on the history of porcelain, and it talked about why people work with their hands. And I found a quote in that book that said, "The manner of what we make defines us." We are our pieces. We put our heart, our soul, our hands, our thinking into those pieces, into each piece we make.
It's about bringing beautiful things to people, to people's homes, to people's everyday lives.
Having a piece by Caskata is, kind of having a piece of artwork. Every piece has its own story.
Each piece is carefully decorated by hand, by an individual person.
What we're going for is something that is both beautiful and timeless.
I would describe the aesthetic of Caskata to be kind of between the classic and modern.
The designs here are so interesting and beautiful, but they're also classic. And but the boldness of them just makes them something that is different from everything else that's out there.
It's modern. It's modern without being trendy.
And I don't know, I think they're beautiful.
I love them. I love the products.
You know, one of the great things about being a designer is the ability to take your inspiration from anywhere around you. Anything in the environment. You see a color, a change of season. Oftentimes it's the nature that we see all around us in the studio here, because there's an endless rotating series of beautiful things that go by the window. And, any small piece of that can capture your imagination. I think you can see certain themes that we love to explore. The ocean's always been close to my heart. So to me, the ocean is a source of endless inspiration. We're also inspired by flowers. I've been a gardener for years and years, and the texture and the play of light and shadow and the curvaceous sort of forms found in the garden, those are all really inspiring. Each step of the way, I think Caskata takes a sort of unique pride in the attention to detail. It takes an awful lot of care and time, and it takes a really good eye to do the kind of hand decorating that we do.
One of my favorites is this Lucy design, Lucy the octopus, which is just, I love all the detail. I love her tentacles and the way she wraps around the bowl.
With the Lucy presentation bowl, it really is huge step by step. You have to heat the bowl first, because if it's not warm enough, it's harder to really wrap her in different directions. Once the bowl's heated, I also have to cut out each individual tentacle so that I can really place each part of the decal where I want it to be placed onto the bowl. It's really got to start with the face of the bowl and then work her tentacles into the bowl. And it's definitely a long process, and you have to know which tentacle goes where and which one you have to put down first in order for the next one to roll into the bowl correctly. And I like that because I like the challenge of it. I like kind of figuring out what placement is best for her to be on the bowl, and I like that it takes time.
She kind of draws you in, I think.
First and foremost, we're designers, and we're lucky enough to also be makers. As designers, it's really empowering to have the ability to make what we design. And the real magic, where we do the transition from art to science, happens in the heat of the kiln. And as the kiln heats up, underglaze and the decorative glaze soften, they fuse, and as the kiln cools down, they vitrify, they turn to glass. And that's what you have on dinner plates. And that's when the design becomes permanent and real and a usable object.
Opening that kiln is so exciting because you get to see exactly how it fires and how it looks.
And that is such a gratifying process.
Something comes out of this process that's very beautiful and pleasing to other people.
They're so special and so pretty.
Simple, artsy, elegant.
Caskata is different. It has a very different design perspective.
Very unique. I just love it.
Gathering together at the table is such a central part of being a human being. And I love the idea that our pieces might help make that gathering a little more special, a little more beautiful.